So, first date. Alright, so we went to Napper Tandy's Irish Pub. It was karaoke night, which when she asked me if that's what I want to do, I was like, not really my scene. But I was like, you know what? Like, why not? Let's go for it. I think we originally planned to like play racquetball or something. Wherever you played didn't stay open that long or something. So we rescheduled and karaoke night. So it's like, whatever.
Because traditional first dates suck.
Alright.
So yeah, we went to the pub. It was a little hard getting there for me.
Oh my gosh.
I was running a little late-ish already, as I usually do.
We decided this place is in downtown Raleigh, which neither of us live in. So like, I lived in Durham, which was like 25 minutes away, and she lived in Holly Springs, which was
About 20 minutes.
Okay, cool.
I wanted something that was like equal distance between us.
Okay.
I had no idea, like, I'd never been to downtown Raleigh by myself and didn't really know where to go, where to park, any of that. So I'm trying to figure out where to park, and it's like very dark outside, pouring down rain. So eventually I just parked like really far away from the pub. And so I'm walking around downtown Raleigh at night, girl, by myself. I've got my knife ready though. I did get approached by some man, which was very awkward and scary. But
She's like, vacuum valve demon. Right?
yes. Eventually, I'm like, I make it. And, like, I think we called each other and like we're texting each other because you were like,
There.
yeah, the anticipation was building. You're like, am I gonna get murdered tonight? Eventually I make it. I'm like soaking wet. Most of my makeup's like gone. And I'm just so miserable by that point. And I'm like, this is gonna be the worst first date I've ever had in my entire life. And like, I was just like, oh my god, I probably look like crap right now. It's like, what a great first impression.
Right? It was raining like that night when I was driving up. It was dark. Like, same, like, I'm really not familiar with downtown Raleigh at all either. And so I'm always like real skeptical of parking too. Like, oh, this is cool. Like, am I gonna get towed here? I park pretty far away too, and I'm trying to find this place. And so I'm like looking around. I'm like, I have no idea which way this thing is. And so I start walking, and it's like, it's not like a building like I expected it to be. It was kind of like in a little cove. Like, they had one door that had like the name of the place on it, and it was like down a little bit. So not very easy to find, but I finally found it. And I was out there, and I was waiting for like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes. And then like, you know, I'm talking to her. I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so late. Like, blah blah. I'm like, it's cool. Like, you know, whenever you get here. And so like at one point, like, I see somebody like walking on the other side of the street, like down past the place, and it was just like one girl, and it's like I knew what she looks like, but pictures and people like look very different. And so I see her, and I'm like, do I yell over at her? I don't know if that's her. Like, what are the chances that some other random single girl's gonna be walking around? So I choose not to, and like I see her like ask somebody, and they like point right that way. So she comes over, and I'm like, finally made it.
And we go inside, and it was very loud inside.
Really? I didn't think it was that loud.
Yeah, it was. You were like screaming.
That's true. I thought you meant like as soon as we walked in.
Oh no.
Like, okay, so it's karaoke night. It's typical bar night. We sit down. Apparently she had just eaten like before we got there, right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, I'm not really that hungry. And I'm like, well, I'm hungry. I just worked like all day. We get some food. So we were there for, I don't know, good 3 hours.
At least.
Yeah, so I think, we got there like a little bit before 10. I don't think we left till like 1:30. 1:30. It was great. Like, I felt right off the bat that it wasn't like awkward or anything like that, even with the rain and like all that stuff. And it went really well. Conversation went smoothly. Had a lot to talk about. Wasn't really any dead awkward silence. And they if it did get quiet, that karaoke kind of helped.
Yeah.
We didn't end up getting to actually sing due to an extremely demanding crowd and a long line. We spent like forever trying to find a song too. I remember
Yes.
sitting at the table and like had the phones out. We're like, oh, that's a good song. So I'm not very good with lyrics, and so you kind of got to know like how a song goes, and you got to have a pretty good idea of the lyric before you just get up there and just go for it. So trying to find a song. Finally found something.
Just living on a prayer. That's what we were gonna do.
So we finally go up there to go. Go up to the DJ and I'm like, can we get on the list or whatever? He's like, there's 25 people ahead of you. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, just get the list. He's like, there's 25 people ahead of you. I'm like, all right, man. Like, I don't really care. Just let me write my name down, and we'll get there if we get there. And so I think he said that like 3 times, and I was like, okay. That was pretty much the night. Yeah, we got free food. They never came and gave us our check. They had like the Raleigh Nightlife photography people out there, and so we got a picture to commemorate the event. What was your first impression?
Well, he's real.
That was a big thing. I think we said that several times throughout the night.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe you're real.
Actually, for a few weeks.
That is true too.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, obviously, it was like, oh, this guy's attractive. Like, it's the first, like, impression you have of someone is how attractive they are. And I was like, wow, he really is attractive.
That was it. The conversation didn't mean anything.
Oh, the conversation.
I meant the
Conversation
whole
was-
date.
Yeah. The whole date was fantastic. Yeah, like you said, it wasn't really awkward or anything. Usually I'd be like super nervous, but I wasn't nervous at all, so that was great. And I felt like we clicked pretty well. So I was like, this guy's alright.
My first impressions of you were, again, you were a real person. Did not wield an axe or a weapon that was intended to murder me with.
That was
Well, I hope you didn't intend to murder me with your knife.
No. Well, I mean, if you were not the person who said you were.
anyways.
Anyways.
And I was like, she's cute though. She's cute. And yeah, conversation was really great. And maturity level was exactly where I needed it. So, could have adult conversations, but again, could be, silly and make fun of things. So that was good. And I was like, this is for real. Like, I'm pretty sure at that moment I was like, all right, this is gonna be a thing. Like, there's no doubt that we match up well enough to make this last more than a date.
After the date, he walked me to my car forever away.
It actually wasn't that far.
It
was
was
like
pretty
2
far.
streets over.
Well, like, you don't understand, like, where I was walking. I was like walking in every direction.
Yeah, it ended up being like across the street and down like 2 blocks.
So he walked me to my car, and then he was like, so, racquetball tomorrow?
I was feeling very confident after the date. It went very well.
Yeah.
Felt like there was, I've been on a few first dates, and it's like, okay, this conversation was very definition of small talk. There wasn't really any interest going either way. This first date, like I said, we were there for 3.5 hours, so obviously something went pretty well. So I don't think in any situation would that have happened that a good date would have lasted that long.
Yeah.
Or a bad date. Whatever. Anyways, you know what I mean. And so I was feeling confident, and we were trying to do the racquetball. And where the racquetball comes in is that she was telling me that she was like a world-class professional sportsman in the racquetballs. And I was like, interesting. I've racketed the ball a few times in my day.
Which was great to hear because nobody really knows what racquetball is. And to find a guy that has actually played racquetball was just like mind-boggling in a great way.
Definitely trying to check each other's skills out on the court. So that's why I'm trying to get this racquetball together. And she was very agreeing to it. She wasn't like, oh, we'll see. It was like, yeah, man, like, let's do it. And so I was like, this girl's a keeper. Yeah, it was pretty much that first date, which was January 23rd, 2nd, 1st. One of those dates. Friday,
Yeah.
2015. Whichever one of those days.
Yeah.
Cool.